Oh, yeah. Five-star. LSU. I said, they ain't ready for the LSU. No, they ain't ready for the LSU, huh? They ain't ready for the LSU. No, they ain't ready for the LSU. We the best in the league if you looking for talent. LSU going hard, but we beat Alabama, then we going out to Florida. Drown the Gators, everybody getting bucked when we step in the stadium. This the LSU anthem, you know it's a hit. You don't know another rapper two-step like this. See me screaming out the window, yelling purple and gold. I'm an LSU fan, girl, you know how we roll now. Back and back it on up. Hey, 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 way down in the back.
EA. We are live on a Saturday morning following a night LSU fans will not soon forget. It will be a
Historical.
night that LSU will remember for a long time. Absolutely historical night for the Tigers. And man, I'm really excited to talk about all of this tonight. Super fun night last night. Obviously, the girls are in the Final Four against Virginia Tech. They advance to the national championship game. Iowa takes down the undefeated. I think they were on like a 42-game win streak. South Carolina Gamecocks. So I super thrilled. But more than all, I'm kind of surprised she's bringing him to me here.
Oh yeah.
Here we go. He may fuss on us. He's asleep right now. He's dead asleep. So if here's Luka Dan. There's your name. Luke. Yeah, I've been calling him Luka Dan. Sorry.
Luka Dan.
Luka Daniel. If you chose Luka Daniel, Zach, I know y'all were doing a somewhat of a.
We do have a winner.
Okay.
Adam B. Adam B. is our winner from
Luka Daniel
from Monday night's contest.
Absolutely. All right, I'm not going to disturb him. I think he's still sleeping. Let Mama take him back. All right,
bro. Congrats.
Thank you. I
think that deserves a little bit of a.
Yes. I mean, props to Mama to bringing them in here. I was kind of surprised she was able
100%.
to do that. So.
100%.
I was not expecting that. So good timing there, Mom. New baby's here, doing well, doing healthy. McKenna's doing all right as well. Y'all be praying for her as she continues to recover from everything. But we're excited to have Luka Daniel finally here. So we appreciate all the prayers and the support and the congrats. We really do. So Adam B., congratulations! You're gonna get some LSU merch, Zach. Are you gonna? Is he get to pick it out? Is that how we're doing it?
Yeah, he's gonna
Awesome.
Pretty much go to our website, check out our merch, and check out what he wants to have us shipped to him, and then there we go. Yes,
sweet, good for you, Adam B. I'm glad you were able to guess it and get some free merch. Carl Dunn, congrats, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. So, Zach, baby's here. LSU goes to the national championship. The men's baseball have taken the series from Tony V and the Tennessee Vols.
Great week for you, bud. Great week for you, bud.
Man, it has been a wonderful week for me and, of course, for all LSU fans. So, Zach, what are we starting with first? The Tennessee series?
Tennessee, we're going to recap the first two games.
Okay, good deal. So, oh man, there was something I wanted to say of note first. Oh, yes, briefly, Zach, something you and I have been discussing surrounding the men's basketball program. We've been giving you little tidbits at the beginning of our shows. Hopefully here soon we'll get to discuss that a little bit more in depth. But folks, look, you got to pay attention. Pay attention. There's a few Louisiana guys who are in the portal, who are talented. One of them previously played for LSU that it looks like they will be making a a homecoming to the Tigers. The biggest one, Zach, obviously, is Jordan Wright from Vanderbilt, arguably one of their best players this season with Jerry Stackhouse, a Baton Rouge native. He will be coming
eligibility left.
With 1 year of eligibility left, will come. He has not committed, but it sure looks like it's headed that direction. Obviously, Jalen Cook already tweeted, and he was in the portal, and then Jordan Wright retweeted it.
Yeah,
and did a little side eye emoji, and so you're kind of like, well, it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. So Jalen Cook obviously had spent 1 year at LSU his freshman season. Was in a bit of a crowded room when Will Wade was here, but there's no doubt that Jalen Cook was a talented player, and I really hated that we lost him to Tulane. But dude went to Tulane, and dude balled out. In fact, he was considering, I think, the draft this year as well. He averaged 19 points a game, and Jordan Wright obviously was phenomenal over at Vanderbilt and gave us problems when we played them. So hopefully here soon we'll see an announcement, Zach. So I'm pretty excited about that. Kind of seems like Matt McMahon's taking a book out of Brian Kelly's of transfer portal.
Go get Louisiana guys.
Go get Louisiana guys that want to come home. Talented Louisiana guys that want to come home, kind of supplement the roster and get going with this thing. So it seems to be trending in that direction. We'll keep you updated on that. LSU has been in the mix of just about every single list of players in the portal. There's lots of good players in the portal, folks. So Matt McMahon, if he can go out and work his butt off in this portal, he can put together a really solid team. All right, enough of that. We'll get some more on that hopefully here soon. We'll see an announcement. But let's discuss this Tennessee series, Zach. 2 games, 2 dubs. It's been really awesome. I mean, this series has been a lot of fun to watch, especially the first game. Last night, it was close, but it felt like LSU always kind of had control. I don't know if that makes any sense. Even though we literally went down twice, it always kind of felt like we were in control of the game. So Zach, let's just start with the first game. What were your thoughts coming off the first game and your initial reaction to what happened Thursday night?
Well, obviously, I mean, the first game was probably, as of right now, the game of the year. Obviously,
awesome.
Up to this point, it was probably the game of the year, especially with the pitchers that you had going on the mound, Skeens and Dolander. Like, those are 2 first-round guys going at each other. And what really encouraged me was that LSU was able to early on, even though we got in a couple situations where you really thought LSU could take advantage and get some runs early.
Should have.
Dolander worked out of those. But the positive thing was that LSU was continually they were hitting the ball. I mean, they were making really good, solid contact. They were loud outs. So you knew early on that LSU was going to be able to hit on Dolander. And that's exactly what happened because you chased them early. And Skeens, I feel so bad for Skeens, bro, because
dude,
2 games.
How do you not give him the dub? I know technically you can't give him the dub, but like, come on.
2 games straight, man, he hasn't gotten a dub because LSU, he exited the game
tied or whatever.
Yeah, and then Tennessee, either it was tied, I think in the Arkansas game,
or Tennessee tied it up.
It was tied, and then Tennessee took the lead or tied it up when he exited this past game. So, like, I just feel bad for him because, man, he's gone out and he's shoved the last 2 games. But if you don't have
the last 2 games, he shoved every game.
Even though he doesn't get the win, I mean, put a little asterisk next to put a little asterisk next to the 5 wins, because the 2 other games that they did win with him on the mound, he went out and shoved, and that's exactly what he did. He went out, and he was the better pitcher, right? Everybody's, discussing, who's going to be the number 1 who's going to be the number 1 pitcher taken in the draft. Is it going to be Dolander? And then Skeens is kind of quietly in the background. Well, not really quietly, but he's been behind Dolander, just eking his way up, and you had these two go at it head to head, and Skeens won the day. He had the better day. LSU chased Dolander. I think it was it the fourth inning, Reagan? Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was the fourth or maybe the fifth inning.
When he got pulled, yeah, he didn't make it through the fifth.
They pulled Dolander, so he went 4 and whatever.
Yep.
And then Skeens, he went all of 7, and I still think you probably could have brought him out for one more out, maybe 2 in the 8th, maybe. I understand he was over 100 pitches at that point, and that's why they sat him. Completely understand that. But, it was an interesting thing to discuss. Could you bring him back out and get one or two more outs? Because, Ty Floyd had gone 116 pitches last weekend.
Right.
And he was only at 106 on Thursday night. Skeens was. So, massive job by Skeens.
Absolutely.
But I think, LSU, we knew that it was going to be at least coming into the game, we thought it was going to be, a pitcher's duel. And it was for the most part. But LSU had chances that they really, really could have moved guys over. I mean, you remember in the first inning, Gavin Dugas' first pitch of the game for Dolander, Gavin Dugas sends it to the wall.
Yeah.
And gets on second. And you're going, okay, here we go. We can strike first here early. And that's what you wanted to do with Dolander before he started to settle in. And so in the first inning, then you have the really hard hit by Dylan Cruz, in which Dylan Cruz walked, didn't he, or got hit?
No, Trey Morgan walked.
Trey Morgan walked. I'm sorry.
Dylan Cruz
hit one close to the wall, and Gavin he thought it was in the gap, started to run, didn't tag up. That's on him. You should have tagged up there, and then the Tommy White fly ball would have scored you. So you hate that you missed those opportunities. You remember in, I guess it was the 4th inning, or maybe it was the 2nd inning. I remember there was twice before we had the runs that LSU got in scoring position and weren't able to get them over. Either way, it was unfortunate to see that, but they continue to battle and they continue to get on base. They continue to make solid contact with the ball. And that was, I was comfortable. I was very comfortable at that point. So in the 4th inning, is of course when we finally broke out and Gavin Dugas had the 2-run shot.
Yeah.
And man, dude, Gavin Dugas, I feel like we haven't talked about him enough, man. Like he completely came in this season and stole the second base job.
Absolutely.
And he has done nothing but just continue. I mean, it's not, they're not giving it up. I mean, he's going to be your second baseman the entire season.
No doubt.
I mean,
his defense is solid.
His defense has been solid. The middle infield,
very solid.
The middle infield. Look, even Tommy. Now I know Tommy had he had the one where he went to a knee and he kind of threw it high. But look, Tommy's made some really tough plays, ranging inside the infield and then having to throw darts over to Trey, or Jones or whoever's over that first. Like he's had to make, or Cade. He's had to make some tough plays. And the middle infield's made some really, really good plays this weekend. So the defense was impressive. But Gavin Dugas gets the 2-run shot. Of course, Skeens ends up, and I remember how we got to 4, right? How do we get to 4? You're going to remind me on that. I'm so invested in
the first game.
In the first game,
we didn't get to 4. It was 2, and then
2 to 4 was the final, right?
No, 2 to 5.
2 to 5. Sorry. Okay, yeah, that's correct. So I'm getting both of these games mixed up.
Yeah.
So you get to 2, and then of course you have the bobble by Jordan Thompson, and when that ball was hit and he had to range that far, I even said to myself, that's going to be ruled a hit. Initially, it was ruled an error. They eventually turned it back to a hit. So that comes across, which sucks, because then you're like, crap, like there goes Paul Skeens' win.
Yep.
But then you go in the bottom of the 8th, and when you really needed it, I mean, when you had to have it, your first two guys get out, and it's like the better part of your lineup, right? I think it was Dylan Cruz and Tommy White. They both got out, and you're like, crap, here we go. And then Beloso gets on the error.
Yep.
Who was next after that? Who was after Cade?
I don't know, but I know Josh Pearson got hit by a pitch, and that loaded the bases. I'm
And
trying
then
to remember
JT
who
comes
was.
up in an extremely clutch situation and
2
doubles
outs.
in the gap in the right center, and clears the bases, and that was your ball game.
A
So
huge hit, man.
massive.
Hats off to JT.
Hats off to JT. You know, he had the bobble on that one play, which ultimately was ruled a hit, which I completely agree was a hit. And then he did have the error that he soared. So and he made up for him. He had the double also on that night. It was just phenomenal. Dylan Cruz didn't have a great night, but he had the base hit late in the game to end up continuing his hit streak, and he did the same last night, very late. But what's been really interesting to me is like Dylan Cruz. I mean, Tommy White's had a pretty good series, but like your best player hasn't had a great series.
I don't know. Tommy White, has he even got a hit?
Well, he did have the double. He had the double off the wall to start the game yesterday.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, he hasn't had a great series either. Your two best hitters haven't had a great series, but Trey Morgan has been phenomenal this week. I think he had 3 hits in each game. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, in the chat, but I know he had 3 hits last night. I think he had 2 or 3 hits in the first game, because I know he doubled in the first game. So, man, it's just been really impressive to get to watch these guys that are outside, you know, Dylan Cruz and Tommy White. They haven't had great series, and you would think in a series like this against Tennessee that those be the guys that carried you, right? And it hasn't been. It's been Gavin Dugas. It's been Trey Morgan. Kay Beloso hasn't had a phenomenal weekend like he did last weekend, but he hasn't struck out this weekend. He hasn't hit, and he's got on base, and he's gotten a couple hits when they mattered the most, especially last night. So, and then you got JT, of course, has had a phenomenal weekend, offensively and defensively. So, yeah, I mean, game 1 was massive, and you know, we discussed in the podcast before, you know, that whoever won game 1, we thought would win the series, and that's exactly what happened. So we can get more into game 2, Reagan, but I'm sure you want to break down game 1 a little bit.
Yeah, I went and pulled it up. Trey did not have a hit in the first game. He did have a hit.
Okay, but it was just last night. Then he had 3.
I know he had the 2 doubles last night. I don't remember what the third one was, but I know he did have the 2 doubles. But like that's one, like you were pointing that out. That's one thing I wanted to point out is the first game you win 5-2, and your best 3 players go like 1 for 9.
Yeah,
like, and you win 5-2 because Jordan Thompson and Gavin Dugas. So like it that's what's so incredible is you're playing a top 10 team in the country, and your best 3 players go out there and give you 1 hit on the entire night, and you still win the game. Like it's the team is just so deep.
Adam B reminded us it was clean.
Yeah, it was clean.
He had the chopper over the pitcher. Thank you, Adam. I couldn't remember that to save my life.
Yeah, and he tried to swipe tag Beloso and then bobbled on the transition and threw it at anyways.
Yeah,
Adam B, appreciate it, man. Also, congrats to you for picking the name, and you'll be getting a little TA merch. But yeah, the first game was amazing. I mean, how clutch of it for Jordan Thompson to do that, and Gavin Dugas. I mean, I never saw the ball land. I still I've watched it several times. That first home run, I have yet to see where it went out at. So it was an awesome home run. I mean, you go down 1 and you're like crap, but then it's like they always have a response. Like we went down 1, the very first batter yesterday, Ahuna goes dead center, and you're like, "Geez, Louise!" Like here we go, you know. And then next inning they put up 3 runs, and it's like they this series I have been. This series, I don't know. I've had a confidence about them, like they're never out of it.
No,
they're just not out of it. And even when we go down, I'm not really concerned, like because we know they can turn it around in a heartbeat. And Dylan Cruz has had 2 hits on the weekend. Like, I mean, it's crazy. And I think Tommy White has had 1 the whole series. So you're not getting normal Tommy White and normal Dylan Cruz, and you're beating the number 10 team in the country in a series. Like that's just how incredibly good this team is. And I think Ty Floyd had a great game last night. Honestly, I know he
Gave up the 3
in
homers.
SEC play. Ty Floyd is going to get touched a few times. Like that's just how he is. Ty Floyd struggles with landing his breaking ball, and he allowed a few home runs last night because he located his breaking ball
Up in the zone.
way over the plate. Like it should be dropping off the plate, fading away, and he was catching like middle of the plate.
And kudos to the Tennessee hitters for recognizing that it was a breaking ball coming.
They recognize it. He, hang a breaking ball, and they've made him pay for it. But I feel like he also held his own at times and was able to. I mean, obviously we know he can locate his fastball really well, and he would take advantage of the inside of the plate and paint the black on the inside and really jam them and get out of and strike them out. I thought he had a great outing. It wasn't Paul Skeens, but we can't expect everybody to be Paul Skeens because I mean, guys, I think career-wise, Aaron Nola had the greatest pitching career at LSU, but I think Paul Skeens is the greatest arm talent LSU has ever had on the mound, and I don't even know if it's that debatable.
For sure in our lifetime. For sure in our lifetime.
I like Ben McDonald was great, but I don't think his arm talent was this great. Aaron Nola, Alex Lang, great. Kevin Gausman, great, but they weren't throwing 102 and then dropping a slider off the face of the earth at 85.
No.
Their stuff was great. Don't get me wrong, and they could go the distance. And, but I think from an arm talent perspective, not career, just arm talent, Paul Skeens is the greatest to come through LSU.
You just have so much confidence when he's in the game. Like they're not going to score.
Not worried.
They're not going to score a lot. They're not going to score a lot on us.
One run, 2 runs.
They might score 1 or 2. They're lucky if they get 2.
Right. So typically, the way people have scored against Paul Skeens is they've moved over and sacrificed. They haven't touched him. They've gotten guys over in the scoring position, and they were able to sack fly. I think Arkansas sack flied and got 1 run against him. Tennessee, I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, Arkansas had the double, and then the wild pitch, and then the
wild
sack
pitch
fly.
And sack fly. I can't remember what happened with Tennessee. They may have had. I think they actually had a base hit against him.
They did have the base hit, but I think the runner got on. The runner got on from the bobble, which ultimately was ruled a hit. That was the one that JT ranged. So, I mean, you could argue, was it an error? Was it a hit? If it's an error, it's unearned. Yeah. But if you ruled a hit, which I ruled a hit, I did rule it a hit in my book. And and then
they had it as an earned run, I think. So on his stat
that's
line.
correct. They had it as an earned run, so that they ruled that a hit, and then of course they had the single up the middle that scored.
Right, but I mean, geez, I mean, let me give you a stat, Zach, real quick. Let me give you a stat from Thursday night's game. Some of you may already know this, but this blew my freaking mind. Paul Skeens, his slowest fastball of the night was Chase Dolander's fastest.
98.
The fastest fastball that Dolander threw was Paul Skeens' slowest.
It's insane.
I think it was like 98.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
I mean, he touched over 100 plus multiple times.
He hit 102, man. He hit 102 once.
At the 87th pitch, he threw a 100-mile-an-hour pitch.
Insane.
At 87. The consistency, the arm talent, I mean, it's just it is beyond anything I think we've seen. ESPN 1045, Matt Moscona and Off the Bench and all those guys, they put out a poll, is Paul Skeens the greatest arm talent LSU has ever had? And it was like a resounding 75% yes on their poll. So, I mean, I can't disagree. I love Aaron Nola, and I think he had the best career in terms of LSU. But and Lang has something to say about career
for sure.
But man, from just a 1-year talent, I think Paul Skeens has got them all. I mean, dude, he's struck out 11 plus every single game he's pitched.
It's insane,
And
man.
he's leading the nation in strikeouts. He's second in ERA. He's
It's like automatic. It's like he's an automatic double-digit strikeouts every game. It's just insane.
Essentially. And Jay Johnson said it right. It was like, what makes him so good is pitch 1 to pitch 106 there's no difference. There's just no difference. He is the same. He is like the epitome of consistency. And I can't say enough about him, and I really do believe that it's going to be 1-2 Dylan Cruz, Paul Skeens. I think the Nationals have the second pick, and I think I heard the other day that they're hoping that the Pirates take Dylan Cruz because they want Paul Skeens. Because, Zach, if you think about this, I can't remember the stat, but I think it has to do with the number of strikeouts he has, or the number of – I think it has to do with the number of fastballs he threw over 100 miles an hour, and it was like 14 or something like that in the last 3 games or something like that. And there was only 3 major league pitchers that did that last year in a season, in the whole season. And the Nationals want to get Paul Skeens as their number 1 rotational guy on a 6-year rookie contract, and have him at that price for 6 years, and then sell him to the highest bidder or give him a max deal. Yeah. Like, he is that type of player. So anyways, I've said enough about Paul Skeens. I could sit here and drool over him for the next 30 minutes.
Honestly, we could.
But we'll move on. So game 2, Zach. Ty Floyd, obviously not as good as Paul Skeens, but he comes out, gives a great game.
I'd say Ty is inconsistently good.
Yeah, that's kind of a good way of putting it.
Like, he's inconsistently good, man. Like he's going to get touched, as you mentioned, because you said earlier, obviously he struggles with locating his breaking ball, which he did last night, and he got touched. Ahuna touched him for a homer to dead center. Didn't add a homer to right center, and then who was the other kid? I don't remember the other kid. I don't even know the other kid's name. It was one of their he was lower in the lineup, but he had a second home run. He said a second home run to left. It was the dude with the mustache. He has like the little faded mustache. You can barely even see it. He's a little bit more stockier guy. I don't know, but listen, what I loved about last night is every single time that Tennessee put runs up, LSU shut the door immediately. Yep. So Tennessee in the first inning, first batter takes them to center, 1-0, and I really wasn't concerned at all. I was like, okay, like, just get out the inning. You gave it 1, get out the inning, and he does that. He gets the next 3.
Yep.
Then in the bottom of the first, Trey Morgan doubles. Dylan Cruz, Dugas struck out. Trey Morgan doubles. Cruz struck out. And then Tommy Tanks came up and hit the double off the wall. Then you're tied just like that.
Yep.
Then Kay Beloso comes up and he does what he's been doing, which is just getting on base, getting hits when you need to, does what he has to do. Like, the dude just doesn't strike out. I'm pretty sure Kay Beloso still only has 1 strikeout. Let me check that. I could be wrong. He only has 1 strikeout still this season. On the season, he has 1 strikeout. Cade just gets on base, bro. He gets on base. He puts the ball in play, which I love about Cade Beloso.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all know I've been on the Cade Beloso hype train for like a long time. So he doubles down the line, take the lead. Then you have the weird play where Josh Pearson pops up in the infield, and like their entire infield is conversing. Everybody, the pitcher, first base, second base, third base, short, they're all conversing, and it just lands. It just lands in there, and Cade's just jogging, like he's just jogging around the bases because it's just, it's 2 outs. So he scores 3-1, just like that. Boom. Yeah. So I mean, they give you 1, they get 1 from you, you get 3 from you. Like LSU never in this weekend so far in these first 2 games, they never allowed a crooked number. They never allowed the crooked number. They allowed 1. They may have allowed 2. I mean, the two is the most you've allowed in an inning. And it was last night on the 2-run homer by Ditton.
Yep.
So that, I mean, when you're doing that, you're gonna and you have the offense that LSU has, like you're gonna win a lot of ball games when your pitchers are going out. And yeah, they may give up one, they may give up two, especially the Saturday and Sunday guy. But the LSU offense is going to float the boat. I mean, they really are. And I'm watching the second home run now. I don't know who the heck this guy is. Oh, Hunter Inslee. He's the one that hit the second home run. So then in the second, of course, he hits the home run, and it's 2-3. And then there really wasn't a whole lot going on after that until I think the fourth inning, right, Reagan?
I believe so.
So I think it was the fourth where they hit the 2-run bomb, didn't hit the 2-run bomb, because in the third is where Ty got in some trouble. They had guys on second and third, and he was able to get 2 outs. I think it was first and second. They advanced, and then he was able to get 2 outs. I think he got the strikeout and then a ground out to be able to
Close in. Yeah.
And then in the third for LSU was when you had Trey and Tommy both hit line drives that were base hits and potential doubles, and their left fielder.
Yeah, they had 3
Nicky,
diving catches last night off line drives.
They stole 3 hits last night.
They did.
One from Trey, one from Tommy, and one from K. Beloso, because all 3 of those guys scorched the baseball. Yeah. And all 3 of their outfielders laid out and made insane diving catches, which just sucked. But it didn't really matter because you were on the night. I think you had like 12 hits or something like that. You could have had 15. Like LSU was scorching the baseball. And so then I think it was the fourth. Reagan, was it the fourth that they had all the hits? Yeah, because in the fourth is when they went up 2 with the Denton home run, and now I'm going blank on how they scored their how they scored. They
scored 3 in that inning. They took the lead, right? We never like when we scored, we always took the lead.
It was Neil.
We never tied it.
Neil had the home run, and then Gavin Dugas had the home run.
Yes.
So back to back. They went back to back. So, which also was massive because again, it's not your middle of the lineup. It's not it wasn't Dylan Cruz. It wasn't your 9-hole hitter is 17 years old, and he's taking Chase Burns deep. Like that's insane. It's insane to think about. Then Gavin Dugas comes up, and he had struck out the last time. He's like, I'm not going to do it again. Boom, hits one out. I mean, I don't know what else to say about Gavin Dugas because he continues to be phenomenal.
Amazing.
Like he's just consistently really good. Just I mean, like
veteran presence.
He's not the bad. Yeah, I mean, he is now tied with Dylan Cruz for 9 home runs in the season. And then there's a few other guys that have like 8. I mean, I know Tommy White has 8. Jared Jones has 8. So, I mean, the guys, I mean, you're getting production from guys you didn't even really know if you would get a whole lot of I mean, we had no clue if we were going to get a production out of Gavin Dugas. We had to
second base.
Yeah, we had to discuss who was going to win second base. Is it going to be Jack Merrifield? Is it going to be Ben Napolt? Or does Gavin Dugas make his way in there? And of course, they had the corrective surgery on his eyes, and dude's
He's seeing it really well. He's seeing it really well.
It worked, man. And so they had the 2 jacks there, and then of course I think it was the 6th. Yeah, because after the 6th there was nothing else. And then in the 6th they had they were able to scratch one run across on the sacrifice because I think it was I want to say it was Joe Bear that got a double.
Joe Bear was 2 for 4, by the way.
Joe Bear had a pretty good day. He had a pretty good day. Which I'm excited to see because you got Beloso now. It seems like you got Pearson locked up. So you really need one other guy to really just start being really consistent and take over. Is it going to be Jones? Is it going to be Joe Bear? Is it going to be Clean?
I don't know. I've seen Pearson has struggled this weekend, so I'm wondering what the lineup's going to look like today. Honestly, now that we have the series win, I'm wondering if we're going to see Kling over Pearson.
I think they will because they're going to go. They're going lefty today. Yeah. I'm pretty sure they're going lefty today with Beam. Isn't Beam a lefty?
Maybe. I really don't know. Honestly,
I want to say Beam's a lefty. So you may even see Beloso out of the lineup. Like maybe you see Jones and Kling maybe, but
Yeah.
We'll see. I don't think they take Beloso out, but if you want to get a matchup in the matchups, maybe Pearson goes out and Beloso goes out, and you see
Yeah.
Jones and Kling in there. We'll see. I don't know.
Here's my highlight of the night, though. Here's my highlight of the night. Nobody in the lineup. Wasn't Ty Floyd. Ty Floyd was solid. Wasn't Ty Floyd. It wasn't anybody in the starting 9. Freaking Griffin Herring.
Dude, for real. And Chase Shores.
Griffin Herring. Chase Shores was solid. 2 innings, 2 strikeouts. He did what you needed him to do. He came in.
Yeah.
But Griffin Herring looked impressive.
Yeah.
2 innings, 4 strikeouts, no hits, no walks, like nothing. I mean, he just came in and shoved. I mean, that's what you expected out of like Griffin Herring.
Yeah.
As a true freshman, to see him come in and do that, think of that moment for him. Braxton was over here watching the game with me. He's going for a save. He's a true freshman, and he's in front of one of the biggest crowds in a long time.
And he's facing one of the best teams in the country.
Facing a top 10 team in the country. And, he just comes in and shoves. And, that last strikeout was awesome. He closed out the 8th inning, and it was electric. It was electric in Alex's box. And, he turned around, and, he got the strikeout, and he spins around to the team. And, it's just like, let's go. It's like slapping his glove. And then, of course, at the end of the game, they went berserk when he got the last strikeout. And I love that for him. He looks stupid impressive, like really good. Griffin Herring is a guy who eventually is going to be pushing for a starting position in the rotation. And man, he's going to get some more innings if he keeps pitching like that, because that was awesome.
Hey, and not to take the spotlight off of Griffin Herring, but to think about what these freshman pitchers, what we have. Jaden Newt hasn't even touched the field.
Jaden Newt, oh my gosh. So like with Grant Taylor, he's taking a red shirt obviously this year, but he's also, according to Jay Johnson, is brilliant in the classroom and is like on pace to graduate a year early. So you may not get to keep him, but what if he just loves it just enough to stick around for another season? And you have like Grant Taylor and Chase Shores, Griffin Herring, Jaden Newt, yeah.
And Floyd and Hurd, I imagine both of them are coming back.
Hurd will come back for another season. I can't. I'm guessing. I know Floyd's a junior. Floyd's a junior, and I agree. I think he should take another year. So
you could have Grant, but you're right. You could have Grant Taylor, Thatcher Hurd, Ty Floyd, Griffin Herring, Jaden Newt, Chase Shores.
Yeah.
And is Garrett Edwards? Could he still come back?
Yeah, he's a junior. He could come back if he wanted to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh. He sure could. Yeah, absolutely.
Your pitching is going to be the strength next year. But anyways, let's talk about this year still.
So, Zach, here's my thoughts on the final game. You got Thatcher Hurd and you got Beam. Honestly, I think they had the advantage in game 2 and game 3 on the mound. I like Chase Burns' stuff better than Ty Floyd's, because I think Chase Burns has more control over his breaking ball, and you saw that a few times last night.
He was landing them.
Yeah, and he's got velocity too on his fastball, so he can blow it by you too. But our hitters are really stinking good. Hung 5 runs on him off 7 hits. Ty Floyd goes out there. I think they had 6 hits, 4 runs. They come close the door. Now you got Beam and Hurd as the matchup, and I'll lean Beam again. But I think LSU gets the sweep. And I think we get the sweep because I think Dylan Cruz is going to have a day.
And Tommy White. Yeah, I agree. And
I think he's going to have a day.
I'm right there with you. I think they get the sweep because I think the guys who haven't had the best of weekends, Dylan Cruz, Tommy White, the usual suspects that are usually mashing the ball and carrying your team a lot.
Yep.
I think they break out today.
Yeah, I do. I think Cruz has like a 2-3 hit day, multiple hits.
Treat today like you had lost a series.
Yeah.
Treat today like you have to have this win.
Yeah, which
And
that's what Tony V is going to be doing. They have to do that. They need to salvage a win.
And you still got a lot of guys in the
Yeah.
bullpen for LSU. I mean, you can bring back
Absolutely.
Little, you can bring back Shores. Obviously, Dutton can come in.
You can bring Edwards back. He pitched 20 pitches on
Garrett
on
Edwards. Like
Friday.
you can bring in a lot of dudes to get the sweep, and today's gonna be a very interesting game. I think today is gonna be a battle too. It's been awesome too because like there hasn't really been, there hasn't been a win yet where teams just run away with it. Like,
yeah,
it was really tight yesterday, really tight on Thursday. I expect it to be the same today.
Yeah, the series has lived up to the hype. It's been great. So looking forward to that. I guess that's kind of our preview for today already. We need to discuss the Final Four and preview the Natty. Zach, you want to get to some comments and then take a break, then we'll come back and do that?
Yeah, let's do it. So Ryan's back in here with us. He said coffee and TA is an interesting combo.
I love coffee and I love TA.
I love coffee too. Here's an interesting thing though, Reagan. I've been drinking those ghost drinks for my wake up juice.
Ghost drink.
The ghost drinks, man, they're good.
Never even heard of that. Never even heard of that. I guess you're going to have to tell me what that is or show me it.
So they've got all kinds of different flavors. They got like cream dream or creamsicle or something like that. It's like the sherbet.
Okay.
Like the sherbet popsicle.
Sure. Yep.
And then anyways, they've got a couple of flavors of like the Sour Patch Kids. It's called creamsicle, bro. I'm telling you, that's what it's called, man.
I know what a creamsicle.
You're the one that started laughing about
Well,
it.
you said. Never mind. I'll tell you later. Go ahead.
So it's like this orange, like popsicle flavor. They got like a watermelon flavor. They got two different Sour Patch Kids flavors. Anyways, I've been drinking those. So at work, the day before I'll put one in the fridge, and then the next morning I'll come and I'll drink it. And because it smacks me. And I drink the blue raspberry Sour Patch Kid. Ghost.
Oh, of course.
It's so good, man. It's so good. Oh my goodness. Ryan said if Ty can ever be consistent, yeah.
Dude, when Ty is landing his breaking ball, they can't touch
him. He's unhittable.
He's
unhittable. Carl Dunn said Skeens is on pace to shatter Ben's strikeout for a season record.
Yeah, for sure.
We're breaking records here at LSU. We're breaking records. Angel Reese is probably about to do it too in the national championship. I hope. We'll see. Let's see. Ryan also said Doogie is clutch like a purse. Love it. All right, I think that's all we got for today, or for right now. So let's take a quick break, Reagan, and then we will come back and recap what an amazing other half of the night last night was for LSU Sports.
5-Star Hero, your intro and outro music for the Tigers Avenue show. They ain't ready for that LSU. Go check out all his other music on all the major platforms. Don't forget to follow him on Instagram at Saints Anthem and at Twitter at One Nation Doty. Don't forget to check out his Facebook page for all his Saints and LSU merchandise. Can't get any better than Sarah Klein Stevens, attorney at law. Her firm focuses on the needs of the elderly and maintaining their dignity throughout the process. Here for you, here for your family. Sarah Klein Stevens, attorney at law.
Right back at it to discuss the Final Four for the LSU women's basketball team. Zach, I think they deserve an applaud. They deserve an applaud.
Oh, for sure. I agree with you. I'll give it to them. Whatever.
Wow, what a night. I mean, what you saw last night is what Kim Mulkey has made this program to be. Never out of it, continually fighting, continually pushing. I mean, just an incredible comeback. I mean, you were down 12 points. 12 points in the third quarter. Going into the fourth quarter, you were down 9. And, geez, Louise, you had a 29-point fourth quarter and held them to 13 for the comeback victory against Virginia Tech to take it to the chip. I mean, Zach, I know y'all were in a storm shelter for a good bit of the night. By the way, we got Zach. Little Rock here is in Arkansas is
Bad.
really bad, destroyed. So,
and I have a lot of close friends, and
yeah.
Of course, I was a student pastor over there in Little Rock for a short time, and so definitely prayers for Little Rock.
Our heart is out there with Little Rock, and I know there's been some other places like Wynn, Arkansas, and Cabot. Our thoughts and prayers are with you. And man, it's been a tough time for weather here recently. I know East Mississippi I think it was last week got hit as well. So y'all be praying for all the recovery and rescue teams that will go out and help, and just those cities. But you spent most of the night in a storm shelter due to all those storms, or not most of the night, but a good
not
chunk
happy
of it.
about it. Not happy.
In the middle of LSU, Tennessee, and the Final Four women's basketball game against Virginia Tech. But so you missed the comeback. You missed the best part, Zach. For a stretch there, man, it really looked like, which you probably saw this part, it looked like Virginia Tech was about to take it and run
away with it.
I had Braxton here with me, and of course, Braxton's, he's been playing basketball his whole life. He played it at the collegiate level, knows basketball, is coaching basketball right now. And he said that the 3-2 zone that Virginia Tech was running was eating us alive. Honestly, I don't really remember how they made the adjustment, but they did something. LSU did something to finally turn it around. But we were sitting there watching it, and for the longest time, that 3-2 zone, we could not get through it. They were keeping us out of the paint with it. And when we got into the paint, we had a short shot clock, and we were having to get shots up that really weren't the best shot selection, forcing things. And Zach, you really continue to be really bad behind the arch. You were 3 for 13 again. It's just brutal.
It is what it is.
Shooting from behind there. We've got. If you want to win this chip, you got to hit some threes.
Yeah.
Because boy, oh boy, you're going to keep up. But thankfully, they found a way to figure out this defense. Tip of the cap to Kim Mulkey. I'm sure it was her doing. Maybe a little bit of Bob Starkey sitting on the sideline next to her, figuring out how they can penetrate that defense. And start putting some points up. Fourth quarter, you're down 9. They go 29-13 for the comeback win. Angel Reese and Alexis Morris, of course, are at the heart of the comeback. What an epic moment when I think they went up. They went up like 8 points, and there was about 30 seconds left on the clock, and the camera pans to Angel Reese, and she goes, "Game." Like on the court, she says game. And they took a commercial break, and they ran that in slow-mo, and it was like, man, this is awesome. Yeah. Just a phenomenal performance by her again. Alexis Morris, I have the stats pulled up here.
Yeah, I can pull them up here if we want to.
24 points for Angel Reese, 12 rebounds, another double-double on the season. LaDazia, Zach. LaDazia is so important. 16 points, 7 rebounds, and of course Alexis Morris leading the team. Man, 27 points, and she has really turned it on the last few games, and we needed her to, because we needed our guard play to be really good. Yeah. And she's done phenomenal. The one thing that I don't like is I really wish that we could have gotten Samaya Smith some more minutes. I just don't think 6 minutes is enough, because I think you're going to need her in this national championship game. I really do. I think Samaya Smith, I think Jasmine Carson coming off the bench is going to be so absolutely crucial in this national championship game. If you, just by looking off that box score there, Zach, you see, other than Flau'jae Johnson, the rest of your starting 5 were practically in the entire game.
Yeah.
The same is true for Iowa. Iowa leans very heavy on their starting 5, extremely heavy on their starting 5. So if you can get some bench play, which we have at times had some really great players come off the bench, Like Jasmine Carson has come up off the bench and put up 20 points. And I think she put up 25 that one time against Florida and went 20 plus in a few other games off the bench. Samaya Smith, the other day came off the bench and was having an absolute night, defensively and on the boards and putting up shots. So we need them to come off the bench and have, we need them to be at their absolute best. And we have got to see some shots fall from beyond the arch. That's why we brought Jasmine Carson in. We need it to fall like bad. Because look, the reality is Caitlin Clark's going to hit shots.
Yeah.
She is going to hit shots. I've been talking with Braxton about her. She's offensively, one of the greatest women's basketball players to ever play in college basketball. She is just phenomenal. 40 points in back-to-back games. When you need her most in the Elite Eight and the Final Four, she drops 40. And Zach, that both of those teams were focusing on Caitlin Clark and trying to hold her down. She drops 40. Like,
it's gonna be tough.
She is a nightmare. She is them.
That team goes as Caitlin Clark goes.
If you can, in the slightest way, if you can hold her to 20, yes, if you can hold her to 20, you have a great chance at winning this game. They have 6 losses on the season, so they're beatable. And I guarantee you go look at those games, Caitlin Clark probably didn't have her best game. They lean heavy on Caitlin Clark. But Zach, how huge is it that South Carolina goes down, though?
It was massive. We just got done talking about the Tennessee loss. I tweeted last night. I said some teams learned about humility tonight, because I think, obviously we already know about Tennessee, but also South Carolina, both those teams, they kind of had their chests puffed a little bit, doing what they were doing, and kind of arguably so. Rightfully so.
Deservingly so.
Deservingly so. When you win 40-something games straight and you're the best team in college basketball, you kind of have, a right to be a little cocky, be a little arrogant. Everybody had South Carolina winning this thing. Everybody. Except me. I had LSU. I don't know about you, but in my women's bracket, I had LSU Iowa. So I am dead on.
Wow. Wow.
Yes, I am spot on with my women's bracket has done really, really good. Now, we won't talk about my men's bracket. We won't mention that. We won't bring that
I don't think anybody wants to talk about the men's bracket.
Yeah, we won't bring that up. It's okay. It's fine. But I've got it correct. And actually, I'm in the top 11,000. Wow.
Yeah.
Probably still pretty good. That's probably still pretty
good. That is statistically probably very good.
I'm at a 99%. I don't know what the percentage is, but 99% is pretty freaking good. I picked the Final Four correctly. I had a really good pick, but either way, everybody was picking South Carolina to win this thing, and they get beat in the Final Four. And so, yeah, some teams learned humility last night. The Tennessee Volunteers, they learned some humility. And I honestly think, even though we were number 1 in the country, I think a lot of college baseball fans were rooting for us over Tennessee, except for Tennessee fans. And a lot of people were rooting for Iowa over South Carolina. Now, what does this mean for LSU going into the national championship tomorrow? Whew, man. It's tough to think, because South Carolina, man, they routed us. And I understand it was at South Carolina. It was earlier in the season. LSU's playing better now. But, man, they routed us. And they just got beat by the team that we're going to play. So, that team just played better. But I do like our chances. I think the offense last night was massive, because you had 2 games where the offense just was not there. It was just bad.
Yeah.
And you go out and you put up almost 80 points. You put up 29 points in the fourth quarter. Holy cow. So, just a massive, massive game for LSU girls. And look, Flau'jae Johnson had a rough she had a rough Elite 8 and Sweet 16. She did not have good games. And I understand she only had 7 points, but she had 2 massive plays late in those games, late in the game last night. That one you took the lead on. She steals it on the side, near the side of the court, and she takes it, gets a layup. You take a lead. The other is I can't remember exactly which basket this was, but it was after that. It was late in the fourth quarter. I think it was the under 3 mark or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Angel Reese or LaDazia Williams, they missed a layup, and she comes flying in, gets the rebound, goes right back up, gets the putback. Like, obviously, Alexis Morris, phenomenal. Angel Reese, phenomenal. LaDazia Williams, phenomenal. But listen, Flau'jae Johnson and Kateri Poole, both of those girls, even though they're not putting up the numbers, they are making plays that are necessary in order for LSU to win. I mean, it is a complete, team effort at this point right now. Like, it's not just you just heavily leaning on one person.
Right.
You're not just heavily leaning on Angel Reese or heavily leaning on Alexis Morris. I mean, you're counting on Flau'jae and LaDazia and Kateri to make plays, not go out there and ball out and put up 20, but you're counting on them to make plays that are necessary in order for them to stay close and win these games. So it's massively impressive what this team is doing now. I'm so excited for tomorrow at 2:30, which I kind of hate that's at 2:30. Like, why is it not a night game? Like,
right.
You're gonna make us like, you're gonna make us come back right after dinner, right after lunch. Like, we're gonna go to church, then go to lunch, then right after that we gotta watch the game. Like, I don't. And hey, look, there's some churches out here they go from like 10 in the morning to like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Like, what about those churches? So
I have to scoot out the back a little early.
Yeah, you did scoot out the back. I don't know.
Pastor didn't say that.
Yeah. But anyways,
Zach,
I'm pumped for it, bro.
Here's a number for you. 18. Iowa had 18 points outside of Caitlin Clark and Monica.
Wow.
They're 2 best players. They only had 18 points outside of that. Wow. 18 points combined. And both of them scored 18 points or more. Obviously, Caitlin Clark had 41 points and Monique had 18. Monica, excuse me, not Monique. So,
on the flip side of that, LSU had 28.
Exactly.
Outside of their 2 best.
Exactly. They scored, nobody else scored 20 points. Like, Caitlin Clark scored 41. They are here solely because of Caitlin Clark, Zach.
For sure.
At the end of the game, like in the fourth quarter, when they had kind of taken the lead and were trying to establish the lead, Caitlin Clark had scored their last 11 points.
What she does.
You stop Caitlin Clark, you're not going to stop her. If you hold her down, you win the game.
Yeah.
You win the game. Zach, I don't know if you watched the game or not, but Iowa lacks in size like big time. Yeah. Like their starting 5 is 6'3". Angel Reese is 6'3". LaDazia is 6'4". Samaya Smith, I believe, is 6'3". Like, she's their tallest player at 6'3".
Yeah.
And they lean heavily on her as like their paint presence. Like, Angel Reese is going to be matched up with McKenna Warnock, who's 6'1", most likely. And then LaDazia is going to be on 25, Monica. Their second best player to Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, I really like the matchup.
The matchup favors LSU. But you have got to do something about Caitlin Clark. You've got to hope that Alexis plays outstanding defense to hold her down. And I think she can do it. Like, I don't think you're going to stop Caitlin Clark. Like, I just don't think that's going to happen. She has, Zach, I don't know if you've watched the last 2 games with her. Have you watched her last 2 games?
Yes.
The will to win, the drive to do everything she possibly can to get the W. Like, I don't know if there's anyone I've ever seen that has the desire to win more. Like, I thought Joe Burrow was like his drive to win, his push to win was the greatest I've ever seen. I think it's Caitlin Clark.
Oh, wow.
Like, her desire to win is absolutely relentless. And it's been on full display in the Elite Eight and the Final Four. She is everywhere. She's everywhere, and she does not stop.
Yeah.
And they don't take her off the court but for like a second breather. Like, she played 39 minutes. So you got to be locked in on her the whole time. And Zach, she could play on a men's team. Like, she's shooting from like NBA, like she's literally shooting threes from NBA length.
Yeah.
Like, she's pulling up 5-6 feet off the line sometimes and hitting it. She is absolutely elite. I mean, she was 15 for 31 last night, almost,
she took 31 shots.
31 shots, and she hit 15. She was almost shooting 50% last night.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, and her assists are amazing. Her court vision is phenomenal.
Yeah.
So
it's not just her shooting.
If you limit Caitlin Clark, you can win this game pretty easily because your size. Obviously, our best player is Angel Reese, and your size is a true advantage in this game. But you also have great guard play in Alexis Morris when she's down. So, like, when she's on, Alexis Morris is that one. I mean, she's put up 20 points in the last 2 games.
Yep.
If you get that gameplay from LaDazia, from Alexis, and you get the same thing you normally do from Angel, and let's say you get Kateri Poole or Jasmine Carson to get a few threes fall, Samaya Smith come in and put up 8 points, your chances are going to be looking really good.
Oh, yeah. I fully believe if LSU puts up high 70s to low 80s, they win the game, period. Because their defense is too elite. And I mean, I fully expect Iowa to score. I was going to score. They put up 77. They put up 77 the last game. Let's see if we can find out what else they've put up. 77, 97. Holy cow. 87. What else? 74. And 95. Yeah, so they put up points. But with LSU's defense, I fully believe that if they can put up high 70s, low 80s, they're going to win the game.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to it because, Zach, I like the matchup a lot better than South Carolina. Yeah. I just think you're outmatched with South Carolina.
Yeah, I agree.
But obviously, I'm not going to say Iowa. Caitlin Clark beat South Carolina. So she can beat LSU.
Mm-hmm.
And like we just have to face that reality. Like, Caitlin Clark can come out there
you're
and
going to be the
underdog.
I mean, you're going to be the underdog in this game.
So, man, I'm excited about this. I am so pumped to see how Kim Mulkey decides to try and handle her. And Bob Starkey. Because Bob Starkey's going to be on that. Well, look at here, Carl Dunn. Bob Starkey's burning the midnight oil, coming up with a plan. Look at that, watching film. Like, Bob Starkey's going to be on that.
Yeah.
So, really excited for this game. And, man, Zach, as you know, I've been saying it. My hot take was that Kim Mulkey would win the next Natty.
Yeah.
Here we are. We're one game away.
We are one game away.
Seal the deal for me, Kim. Seal the deal.
Reagan, you're going to have to find that for us. Find where you you stated that. And we'll have to clip it.
I think it was before. I think it was before the women's basketball season started this year. So I'm going to go back a ways.
You got to go back and find it. And if you can find it for me, we will clip it and we will put it out there.
If we win tomorrow.
If they win.
Yeah, absolutely. So, man, Zach, 41 points for Caitlin Clark, 40 points. She may have had 41 in the last game, but you limit Caitlin Clark, you win the game.
I agree.
So that's got to be your plan. I mean, you got to figure that out somehow. Obviously, you can't just forget about everybody else because some of their other guards can shoot it too. Like Gabby Marshall can shoot it pretty well, but not near as much as what Caitlin Clark obviously can do. So it's going to be exciting. You're in the national championship, second year, Kim Mulkey. This is what you expected from Kim Mulkey. And here you are, second year, going to the national championship. It's so exciting, Zach. So exciting.
It is really exciting, man. I'm pumped. I'm ready for tomorrow.
All right, Zach, let's get to a few more comments. We're already 7 minutes over. Let's get to a few more comments, and then we'll come back. We'll hit a commercial break, come back, and wrap it up after that.
Carl Dunn did say it's time for her to have a bad game.
Yeah, we need it. We need it.
He said, let's get the sweep at the box and let's win in the Big D, Dallas.
Yes.
Gotta love it. As you already mentioned, he mentioned Bob Starkey is burning the midnight oil, coming up with a plan to stop her.
Gotta be.
So we appreciate all y'all joining in. I think that's just about it. Let's see. I think the rest is about baseball, which we've passed up. But yeah, it's been a blast, man. You want to take a break and then we'll wrap up the show, bro?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's hit a quick break.
Make sure you go follow us on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, all at Tigers Avenue, for daily updates on the show and all things LSU Sports. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to click off and hit that subscribe button at Tigers Avenue. We broadcast all of our shows live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter.
All right, guys. Appreciate you hopping in here this early Saturday morning, grabbing a cup of coffee, joining the show. It's been a great show because we've recapped one of the best nights in recent history for LSU. A night we will not soon forget. So today, 1 o'clock, LSU goes for the sweep. Tomorrow, 2:30, women's basketball is looking to win their first national championship. By the way, it's the first appearance in the national championship game for LSU. So to be honest with y'all, win or lose, I'm good. You can't ask for any more. You've already done more this season than any other LSU women's basketball team has in the history of LSU women's basketball. So you're breaking through. Tomorrow, I win or lose, I'm happy for them. Zach, I think your mic is still on. I'm kind of hearing you in the background there. So maybe close the sweep out today. That would be awesome to sweep Tennessee, top 10 team, and then maybe go and win a little national championship on Sunday. And look, we'll be all here in the Tigers Avenue to cover it all. Appreciate all you commenting, interacting. I know it was a little bit earlier than normal, but with the baby and everything, we kind of had to make some changes and whatnot. Hopefully we'll be able to get back on schedule here soon. But we appreciate y'all bearing with us and allowing us to do a show like this. Watch party at PMAC tomorrow. Doors open at 1:30. Give Mulkey Coach of the Year. Hey, if she wins it, she should be Coach of the Year. She should be. I don't know. Iowa coach may win Coach of the Year, but if you're going to give her the Coach of the Year, you might as well give it to Caitlin Clark. But hey, if you're in Baton Rouge and you got the time, go to the PMAC and have the watch party at the PMAC. I mean, why not? Have the Death Dome rocking while they're down in Dallas trying to win the Natty. All right, guys, it's been a great show. Got a great weekend ahead of us with the final game in the series and, of course, the national championship. And we'll be back here to recap it in the Tigers Avenue. And we'll see you then next time. 5 Star Hero, take us out. Peace.